Good to go.
Good morning, friends. It's a very special day for us at CIF. We have spent many weeks, months strategizing and planning for our engaging municipalities initiative to become a reality. And today it has. Canada India Foundation will be engaging proactively and closely with Ontario's municipalities outside the Greater Toronto area to create synergistic relationships with India for mutual economic benefit. India today is the world's sixth largest economy in nominal terms and third largest in terms of the purchasing power parity. And it is set to grow at a remarkable pace in coming years. The very first year following the pandemic-related slowdown, the growth rate projected is about 9%. And this presents a huge opportunity for Canada as an organization which has always strived to bring these two economies closer together. CIF is eager to fulfill its part. This newest initiative we have launched fits perfectly into our goals in Ontario. Greater Toronto area is a huge magnet for the investment and immigration. That is definitely good for all concerned. A while ago, some of us started wondering if we are missing the smaller towns and cities in the big picture, as each of these municipalities must have their unique strength and offer special opportunities. The more we started looking, the more we were convinced that there is a huge amount of untapped potential in some of these towns. Barrie is the very first town closer to GTA that we focused on to kickstart this program. How many of us know that Barrie today is the fourth most preferred destination for investment in Ontario? Barrie is the home to the thriving sectors like automation, precision manufacturing, data centers, tech and aerospace, life sciences, food and beverage industries. Obviously, city packs a punch and offers a whole host of opportunities. And you will hear more on them from the Mayor of Barrie himself, Mayor Lemon, who is present along with the other colleagues on this session. Barrie is only the beginning, but it can also set an example for the potential that exists. There are dozens more Ontario municipalities with as yet undiscovered opportunities. We at CIF would like to be a bridge builder between them and interested companies and institutions in India to facilitate the exchange of goods, services, and top professionals needed to maximize their potential. And I will emphasize three main points. India is one of the largest and fastest growing economies in the world. Ontario would do well to expand its economic engagement with India through greater market access. It is in the interest of Ontario from employment and cost of living point of view to distribute its growth across province. Developing a sister cities framework between Ontario's municipalities and tier 2 or 3 cities in India will create a strong foundation for bilateral economic and cultural relations between the sister cities. We have a very powerful and connected panel here to throw light on the subject and take discussion forward. Thank you, each one of you, for being part of this initiative. And before we begin the main presentation, let me invite our Consul General of India in Toronto, who's been a great source of inspiration and a great thought leader. In fact, when we started discussing this initiative, she wholeheartedly supported and came forward that we should lead this initiative. Madam Apurva Shrivastava, she's a career diplomat for over 2 decades of very, very illustrious experience serving at various missions abroad and serving with the Ministry of External Affairs and at SAG. A tireless civil servant with a deep passion and relentless energy. Ma'am, we are very fortunate to have you with us this morning, and thank you for joining. Over to you.
Thank you, Satishji. Namaskar, good morning. I'm so pleased to welcome you all for this inaugural session of new initiative to engage the municipalities of Ontario and India for exploring trade and investment opportunities between our two places. I would like to thank Canada India Foundation and of course City of Barrie for taking lead in this initiative. My special thanks to Your Worship Mayor of Barrie, Mr. Jeff Lemon, for supporting wholeheartedly, and we'll take guidance for you for taking this initiative forward. President of Georgian College for her presence and support to this initiative. Also, I see such eminent panelist, the representative of Ministry of Economic Development. I welcome all of you. Also, Shri Rajat Yadav from Invest India, who will make a detailed presentation and give us a first-hand information on the business and investment opportunities for Barrie's companies in India. I have been serving in Toronto for last 2.5 years, and I have interacted with a number of business people from small to large companies across 7 provinces in my jurisdiction. And in all these interactions, I have seen great enthusiasm from India. The people in general are quite positive about India's growth story, and the Canadian companies have slowly realized that India is a land of great opportunity. That is why we see increasing number of Canadian companies investing in India and taking benefit of the great opportunities that the Indian market provide to the investor. As a demonstration, during the COVID year of 2020-2021, India registered the highest ever FDI inflow of around $82 billion. India has indeed undergone transformational changes in last few years. We have created robust business environment for companies to flourish. We have relaxed FDI norms across sectors such as defense, telecom, education, power, stock exchange, etc. We have political stability, investment-friendly policies, transparency in government, highly skilled talent pool, and a large market, all of which together make India a favorable destination for foreign companies. India has shown resilience in face of the pandemic and emerged as a land of solutions for various global problems related to manufacturing, supply chains. Indian economy is poised to grow at the quickest pace among the largest economies with a GDP expansion of about 9% in the current year. The overall economic activity has gone beyond the pre-pandemic level, owing to the growth driven by strong exports, global economic recovery, domestic private investment, and ramped up production capacity. Indian exports of both goods and services have been exceptionally strong so far. Indian stock market has emerged as the best performing in the world with over 45% return on investment. India has improved its ranking from 142 to 63 in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business ranking in last 5 years. And I'm aware that City of Barrie has can be a natural partner in India's growth story, and which can be a mutually win-win situation. Barrie has the right mix of talent and technology for data processing, gaming, app development, and computer programming. And low cost of doing business help automation and precision manufacturers to stay competitive globally. And I think there is a great opportunities for companies of Barrie to cooperate with India, which has emerged as an IT powerhouse of the world. Globally, India is now the 3rd largest ecosystem for startups, and unicorns are becoming the identity of India. The number of unicorns from India has now risen to 88. In 2021 alone, 44 startups achieved unicorn status in India, and there's a great opportunities coming up in several sectors of economy. And in last 1 year, we have been seeing that a lot of startups want to come to India to establish a base in Ontario, and they see that as an access to Northern America. So I think if we work together well, we can see Barrie as a as headquarters for some of these startups, or we can definitely work on that. We can always, whenever any startups show any interest, we can always coordinate with Barrie to see if it's just 1 hour from Toronto, and I'm sure it would have great opportunities, which I look forward to hearing from you. Barrie is also considered a leader in community health, medical device manufacturing, and other emerging technologies. India, as you know, is a pharmacy of the world, can be a great partner for Barrie in these sectors. There are a lot of pharmaceuticals and IT companies currently which are based out of Ontario. We can also work with them to see if they can have their extension in Barrie if they get real support. Renewable energy is another area where India is doing very well and have crossed the 100 gigawatt mark. We are on track to achieve the target set for 2022. And we have already enhanced our ambitions to install 450 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity of 2030. Barrie had some companies which are good in clean technology, and I think this is another exciting opportunity for collaboration with India. Barrie has unique strategic advantage in its emerging aerospace sector, and this is an area where we have opportunities to collaborate. Human resource. This is as you know, India. Canada has 1.8 million people of Indian origin. Apart from that, there are 800,000 Indian passport holders living and working in Canada, and there are more than 200,000 students, making the largest chunk of international students here in Canada, out of which little less than half are based in Ontario. So this is another opportunity where Barrie can use the human resource capital of India in their development. So we can work together on that area also. And I hope this event today is just a start, and I would request CIF to follow up and help in connecting companies from Barrie to the relevant companies in India. And we'll have definitely more interactions. I also take this opportunity to inform that India is celebrating 75 years of India's independence, and the celebrations are ongoing. And I would request His Worship the Mayor to help us celebrate this in befitting manner in Barrie and our surrounding areas. And before I conclude, I would like to invite a delegation from Barrie to visit India, led by Mayor, to see the opportunities firsthand and to see if there's a possibility of a sister city with a city in India. So I thank you so much, and I would like to conclude here and look forward to hearing all the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Apurva ji. Your vision, energy, passion, and leadership means a lot to diaspora and community here. Thanks for bringing India and Canada closer than ever. We really appreciate your leadership. Friends, our next speaker today, His Worship Jeff Lemon, is the 46th Mayor of the City of Barrie, having been re-elected to a third term in 2018 with 91% of the popular vote. Mayor Lemon is the current chair of Ontario's Big City Mayors Caucus, representing Ontario's 29 largest cities. Mayor Lemon is also a founding director of Electra, the second largest community-owned utility in North America, serving more than 1 million customers in Southern Ontario. As an economist, he writes and speaks frequently on issues affecting Canada's cities. In 2019, the prestigious US business magazine Fast Company named Mayor Lemon one of its top 100 most creative people in business for his innovative solutions in government. Mayor Lemon is a passionate believer in transforming urban economies through public and private entrepreneurship. With his eyes and intentions clearly set on public service, Mayor Lemon is also seeking nomination as a candidate in provincial politics. Great asset for City of Barrie and province in future. Over to you, Mayor Lemon.
Thank you so much. What a kind introduction. And Madam Consul General, thank you for being here today. Your presence is significant and important to us. And it is a delight to hear your invitation and to consider the steps that we can take after today to grow what are already deep ties between our city, our region, our country, and India. And I want to thank the Canada-India Foundation for beginning this series with Barrie. It's an honor to be your first satellite city, I suppose, the ones a little further afield from Toronto, where there is enormous opportunity. And I wanted to give a few messages about my city by way of introduction, but also to those who are considering investment about what you will find here and the ways that we can work together. So the city of Barrie today is 150,000 people. You can see behind me how beautiful a city it is, but what you can't see here is that it's a waterfront city. It's wrapped around Kempenfelt Bay, and we sit halfway between Toronto and Ontario's recreational playland of Muskoka. So living here means very much a mixture of being at the economic heart of the country and the lifestyle that comes with being able to enjoy our recreational areas in Ontario. We like to say that both Bay Street and the cottage aren't too far away. And Barrie's location has allowed us to increasingly attract investment companies and individuals wanting to grow their investment in our country and grow their companies here in Southern Ontario. I mentioned we're 150,000 people today. The forecast is to be 300,000 people within a few decades. One of the important messages I gave you this morning is Barrie has been and will continue to be one of the fastest growing cities in Ontario. And the reason for that is straightforward. From Barrie, you can access the tens of millions of people in the US Eastern Seaboard in Southern Ontario as a landing strip or a landing pad for companies investing into North America. We're ideally located to access those markets. But we also have, as mentioned, a lower cost of business, a strong talent pool, and a lifestyle that is really unparalleled. Some quick facts to relay about our last 10 years. In the last 10 years, 4 times out of those last 10 years, Barrie has had the lowest crime index in all of Canada. So of all big Canadian cities, we have been the very safest 4 of the last 10 years. And the other 6 years, we were in the top 3. We often compete for having the lowest crime rate. I'm also delighted to say that we had 13,000 new jobs created in the city alone and more in our broader region. There's 150,000 people inside the boundaries of my city. There are 500,000 people within 15 minutes in Simcoe County. And that region, Central Ontario, is one of both the fastest growing and the most stable in all of Canada. As a place to invest, it is consistently ranked so highly because of these sorts of factors. Every year, the City of Barrie is rated by a global ratings agency, Standard & Poor's. They continue to rate our fiscal condition very strong, but what's important is in the comments that are made by those outside reviewers, they mention Barrie's political stability, the fact that our city council here works together to improve our community, and there is consistency and forward movement year after year as we build transit, as we build infrastructure, as we build the services needed for a fast-growing community. And this creates a stable environment for investment, even in the midst of very rapid growth and economic change. And that economic change is really being driven by the change and the growth in our talent pool. The fact that people are coming to Barrie to start businesses and grow businesses in new sectors. It was mentioned in one of the introductions that Barrie is home to the fast-growing financial services sector. 2 of Canada's big 6 banks have their national campuses in Barrie, and that is a major investment in, obviously, in information technology and the people who steward data, but also the services that support the financial industry across our country. Advanced manufacturing, it has long been a source of Barrie's strength. Even when we were much smaller, our economy was driven by manufacturers who sell across the world. And the investment that has been made by companies from other countries into our community has helped to spur the growth of a sector, which includes a very talented labor pool in everything from machining, automation, engineering, electrical engineering, and the design of systems for manufacturing. I wanted to also talk about Georgian College, and I'm so delighted today to be joined by the president of Georgian College, Mary Lynn Westmoynes, with a huge presence of students from India. We have been able to work together to grow Georgian College, especially in the fields of data analysis, computer science, advanced manufacturing. The ties between our education system and our labor market and indeed our economy are extremely strong here. And so when you come and invest in our community, you will see the collaboration. And that's really a core message I wanted to give you today too. Not only will you be welcome here, not only is investment welcome here and growing ties are welcome, but the collaboration between our institutions allows us to offer support to businesses in a way that I think is very rare among cities. Not only is it about training the labor market, but it is about mentoring and growing entrepreneurs. It is about ensuring that finance is available to scale. And in our community, even where the property market has been on fire here, we've seen dramatic increases in the value of property. we continue to bring more property to market for commercial and industrial lands, including a new business park that's being developed on Highway 400, less than half an hour from the fast-growing part of the North GTA. The ties between Barrie and the Greater Toronto economy do continue to grow, but we here in our city have built a network of collaboration between Georgian College, the city, institutions like the Sandbox, which are designed to assist the growth of companies and fuel a culture of entrepreneurship. And that's what you'll find here. For that reason, I believe cities like ours really have a unique offering, because it can be difficult sometimes in larger centers to ensure that everybody is part of that kind of collaboration. Whereas in smaller centers, there is an opportunity to really locate and thrive amid the ecosystem of support that exists to grow businesses. I know many of our companies are already doing business in India. I know our cultural ties are strong as we continue to grow events and cultural organizations here in our community. And we want to do that as our city increasingly takes its place on a world stage, and as our global economy begins to reintegrate after this very difficult period of the pandemic. But the core message I wanted to give you today about location, about talent, and is really that this is a community that is not just welcoming, it is built on collaboration. Our economy is built on collaboration. And whether it is in talent, in developing our labor market, whether it is in the investment that occurs to scale companies here, the advantage of our location, this is a community that is growing, fast growing, and creates its own opportunities. We have a vision as Barrie City Council, the 11 of us, as being a regional economic center, an economic engine unto ourselves. In many parts of the world, and in fact, Greater Toronto, there can be something of a bedroom community relationship for cities of our size. That's not our vision. We are an economic center, we're a fast growing one, and we want to continue to grow that along with your help and the help of organizations like the Canada-India Foundation. So it's just a delight to be able to kick off this series, to be the first speaker, and to obviously give a bit of an advertisement for my city. I could talk for so much longer about Barrie as the chief cheerleader, as the mayor often is. But I thank you so much for this opportunity, and I invite you to be in touch with Stephanie and our team at Invest Barrie, who do wonderful work to support the expansion of our economy. And we look forward to continuing and growing our ties in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mayor Lehman, for your leadership, and your business-like approach is very much reflected in the current growth which the city is experiencing and future in plan. We look forward to working with you very closely, and thank you for joining. Friends, our next speaker is Dr. Marilyn West Moynes. She's the president and CEO of Georgian College since 2012. With the extensive academic and leadership experience, Marilyn has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to serving the students and fostering collaborative community, government, and industry partnerships. She has enhanced support for the college's 4,500 international students, launching a digital innovation strategy, meaningful and authentic action toward truth and reconciliation, the college-wide commitments to equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. Dr. Marilyn, over to you.
Well, thank you, everyone, and for that very kind introduction. Let me begin by echoing Mayor Lehman's remarks about how honored I am to be among such a skilled panel, and delighted that you chose Barrie for the first kind of these sessions. So it's my privilege to be here. And so let's get started by sharing a little bit more about who we are at Georgian College. Next slide, please. Georgian has 7 campuses in central Ontario. We offer more than 130 market-driven programs, everything from apprenticeship and skilled trades to diplomas, certificate, graduate certificate, and degrees. We have a very unique partnership with Lakehead University, where students can get both a degree and a diploma in just 4 years, which I like to call as they experience the best of both worlds in Canadian academia. Next slide, please. Georgian is home to approximately 13,000 students. Of that, 4,488 are international students from 82 countries. 46% identify as female, 54% identify as male, and the average age of our international students is 23 years old. Many of our students have been studying remotely during the pandemic, as you would all know. As Ontario and the world begins to open up, restrictions begin to lift, and more visas are granted, we look so forward to seeing an influx of students on our campuses this fall. Students from India make up 82% of our international population. These students come from diverse backgrounds, including varied regions of origin, religion, and language. You can see some examples on the slide screen in front of you. Our enrollment data shows the most popular Georgian programs are among the following. And students from India in particularly love the big data analytics, biotechnology, our business programs. We have a global business management program that is highly, highly regarded. Hospitality, both hotel and resort operations, as well as management and project management are very favored programs among our students from India. You'll note the themes of business, tourism, technology, and health, all sectors that need our graduates. We support our students in their transition to Canada and our college in a number of ways, from offering peer mentors and language help to hosting global talk cafes and live Instagram chats on topics of every time you can absolutely imagine. And our ability to do that in person and remotely has expanded immensely over the last couple of years. Not only do our international students play a key role in sustaining our local economy and bringing skills and expertise to our communities, but they are absolutely enriching the learning experience at Georgian by sharing their global perspectives. I can tell you they get so involved in our activities and certainly are very eager to participate in student government and be on college committees. And they just are outstanding students. And I anticipate we'll continue to see India as a main market and are looking to diversify our current model to ensure that we can welcome students from all areas of the country. Next slide, please. Some of Georgian strengths that I wanted to chat with you a little bit about include being a recognized leader in student work experience. We offer everything from co-op and field placements to practicums and community service learning. We couldn't do this without the support of our employment partners. Many of them might be with us today. We have over 6,200 employers who take our students on a work experience. And I can tell you it really differentiates the quality of our graduates. We've also differentiated ourselves as an institution by embedding entrepreneurship outcomes in all of our programs, which means that every student who graduates from Georgian has an innovative mindset that they can apply to whatever career path they choose. And beyond entrepreneurship, we know that social innovation is so important. And that's why we applied for and became Canada's first and only Ashoka U Changemaker College, which is the leading designation for social innovation in higher education. We're committed to ensuring that our students can create meaningful change, including playing a role in tackling the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. By being change makers, we know our graduates will go out and they will change the world. We're recognized as one of Canada's top 50 research colleges, something that we just achieved in the last couple of years, which ensures that students are involved in significant and varied projects to help Our partners solve complex challenges and drive economic growth. And we must be doing something right. The latest key performance indicators from 2020 to 2022 indicate that we have one of the highest graduate employment rates amongst Ontario 24 colleges. I often say the best way to measure the success of a college is whether or not their graduates get jobs. And we have scored amongst the highest in the last 10 years. And I think that's a significant achievement. It speaks volumes about the caliber of students who come here and the skills they leave with. 85.8% of our alumni found work within 6 months of graduation, which is well above the provincial average. When asked to rate how well the college has prepared Georgian grads, employers reported 100% satisfaction for the last 2 years in a row. Another achievement that I give most of the credit to our students, but I feel that our programs are certainly helping build the skills that our students need to do well in the workforce. Next slide, please. I like to think we create values in many ways and influence the lives of our students and alumni employees of the region. According to a recent economic impact study by Economic Modeling Specialists International, Georgian College's campuses contribute 1.7 billion in income to our catchment area economy, which is approximately 5.3% of the total gross regional product. This equates to 22,752 regional jobs, or 1 out of every 15 jobs in Central Ontario. Student spending adds 64.4 million in income, while that alumni impact accounts for 1.4 billion. Next slide, please. We don't want to stay in the same place. We want to keep moving forward, and that's why we recently launched a new strategic plan to guide our efforts at the college over the next 2 years. There are 3 areas of priority that underpin all of our commitments outlined in the plan. The first, and I think probably the most important, especially considering where the world is today, is equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. We want to be a place where everyone feels seen, heard, and know they belong, where our students understand they matter. We recently launched a new Center for Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging, and proudly became a member of the Canadian Center for Diversity and Inclusion. We know there is much work to be done, but together and with the support of community members and allies, we're committed to doing that work and dismantling the systems and structures that uphold oppression. Our second priority is digital innovation, which is all about creating an unrivaled student experience. Our goal is to offer flexible, personalized, and technology-enabled learning and service delivery throughout the student lifestyle. This has been one of our biggest achievements during the pandemic, evolving the ways we learn, work, and support our partners. It never ceases to amaze me that when there's a crisis, something positive always seems to come out of it. And we've been talking about digitalizing our programs. And although we could have all avoided the pandemic, it has certainly given us an opportunity to move forward much quicker than we had originally planned. We know many sectors are being disrupted by technology, automation, remote work, and e-commerce. We must equip our students with the digital skill sets they need to succeed now and in the future. And I always like to say, anyone who hires a graduate who has gone to post-secondary education during COVID will know they're hiring someone who is digitally savvy and someone who has resilience and persistence. And those are important skills when you're looking to hire someone to work in your business or industry. Our third priority is to create an agile culture of innovation where we model and support students to be collaborative, open to experimentation, and ready to embrace change. And I think the word here that's very, very clear is change. So much will continue to change, and we need graduates working for you and your companies that understand that and are willing to look for innovative ways to move forward. Next slide, please. So if you haven't got a sense yet, we're here for you as a post-secondary institution and want to continue to collaborate, strengthen, and grow our partnerships. We want you to see Georgian and our students and our graduates as a source for the highly skilled expert workforce you need to help your organizations and business thrive. We also want you to see us as a partner in generating solutions to the challenges you may grapple with. There are real concerns about skill gaps and labor shortages and evolving industry and business needs as we move out of the pandemic and towards economic recovery and stabilization. In response, we'll continue to launch new programs and fill those gaps, including micro-credentials driven by industry and market need and delivered within a shorter time frame. These programs can help learners quickly gain a new skill, upskill, or retrain for a new career. We're also welcoming our first cohort of Honors Bachelor of Science nursing degree students in September to help meet the critical shortage and healthcare demands. This is a great time of disruption, fueled by rapid change in technology and accelerated by the pandemic and other events. And yet, we must continue to invest in people and to innovate and to lead to ensure that our business and industries has the type of talent they need. We appreciate the many and varied, next slide, please. We appreciate the many and varied ways you already support our students as donors, employers, partners, and more. There are 3 areas we're particularly looking for additional help in. We'd be grateful if you would continue to facilitate relationships between our students from India and the business community. These relationships can provide our students with strong role models, career guidance, and mentorship, part-time work, and other hands-on learning opportunities. It's invaluable for a student from another country to have a work experience prior to graduation, and your help can make that happen. We would also appreciate continuing to work with the Indo-Canadian community to spread awareness about the rich cultures of our Indian students and how important their roles are as newcomers to our region. You and I both know how vital these graduates will be, and we hope for many to stay once they graduate as professionals, business owners, and active and engaged citizens in our community. Lastly, we welcome and encourage you to become more involved in our community and college activity. For example, the County of Simcoe Number It Starts anti-racism campaign and Georgian Changemaker in Residency Week. How you choose to participate in these initiatives is up to you, but you could attend sessions and workshops or join us as guest speakers. We're very open to hearing ideas from you anytime. I've spoken a fair amount, but I wanted to make sure you got a real good sense of our institution, how committed we are to working closely with the City of Barrie and the employers in our community. And let me just close by sharing with you that I will be retiring in June of this year, but I'm delighted that yesterday the board announced that Kevin Weaver will be the next president. Kevin is a stellar leader. He's currently the Vice President Academic at Georgian, and he's on the call today and will stay on the call so that if any of you want to build a relationship with either Kevin or myself, we look forward to doing that. Let me close finally by saying you play a critical role in Georgian's success and the success of all our graduates. Thank you for listening to me today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marilyn, for your information-rich presentation this morning. 82% of international students being Indians, that itself shows how important role we all can together play in creating local opportunities for them. retaining that talent pool within Barrie and growing community here in Barrie. I mean, even after retiring, we would need your continued guidance and participation to create and nurture opportunities for these international students to grow local economy here in Barrie. Thank you so much for your participation today. Friends, our next speaker today, Mr. Rajat Yadav, is manager and lead of Canada desk at Invest India. He's a finance professional. He advises retail and e-commerce firms on their market entry strategy and on regulatory requirements, FDI and FEMA, and support Canada-India bilateral commercial diplomacy goals as the lead of the Canada desk. We are looking forward to hearing and knowing more about Invest India and how Canadian entrepreneurs can collaborate with Invest India and tap opportunities on this corridor. Over to you, Rajat.
Thank you for the introduction, Mr. Malik. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes.
Great. Again, good morning to all those present. Good morning to Madam Consul General, His Worship Mr. Jeff Lehman, and to all the dignitaries and members of the audience today. As Mr. Malik has already mentioned, I am Rajat Yadav and I lead the Canada desk here at Invest India, which is India's investment promotion agency. The agenda of my presentation today to all of you is to just briefly encapsulate the investable opportunities in India and to give you a primer of a few of the focus sectors which may be of relevance to all those present today. When we talk about India, India is one of the fastest growing G20 economies with the GDP rank moving from nearly 9th a decade back to 5th in 2021. The GDP of India has actually grown significantly. It's grown by 700% since 1995. So that's a figure to remember. Apart from having favorable demographic, India also is very fast in digital adoption. We have the second largest number of internet users. Over 750 million internet users are in India. And we were recently ranked second as per the 80 Kearney's retail index, which assesses the ease of doing business or the market entry ease into the country. As has already been mentioned, India has a vibrant large startup ecosystem. India is the third largest startup ecosystem. We have nearly 63,000 startups recognized over 633 districts. That's nearly 80% of the total districts in India. And we have nearly 46 unicorns that came up in 2021 alone. That's nearly equivalent to a new unicorn every week. From a growth potential, we have been rising at quite a few fast pace, and India has been the shining beacon in the emerging economy segment, which is very well showcased by the increase in GDP. The way I kind of look at it, one of the interesting ways to understand the increase in GDP is to understand the amount of time it's taken for India to add $1 trillion to its economy. Quite notable is the fact in this particular graph on the left is that India took nearly 63 years since independence until 2010 to add its first $1 trillion, followed by the second trillion coming in just a span of 7 years from 2010 to 2017, and the third trillion in just 3 years. GDP of India will grow to nearly 8 to 9 trillion in the end of this decade, and we will hopefully be the third largest economy in the world by then. One of the things that people need to kind of note when they're trying to evaluate investable opportunities in a country is also to kind of map the resilience of the economy, especially in the face of the pandemic that we've been seeing in the past 2 years. And here, India has been able to continue its growth. India was one of the fastest growing economies in the world, which, as we mentioned earlier, it clocked 9.2% in growth between 2021 and 2022, and is projected to grow at 6.7% in the coming fiscal. Despite a very severe second wave back in April-May of 2021, India's GDP in the first quarter of the fiscal of 2021-22 was expanded at a year-on-year rate of nearly 20.1%. We have also seen a significant amount of increase in the merchandise exports. Again, the figures here are 34 billion in the month of Jan 2022, which was an increase by 25% on a year-to-year basis. There are a lot of they are very top-performing export commodities that India has been trading in: engineering goods, petroleum products, agriculture and allied products, and drugs and pharmaceuticals also. Here is another snapshot of where we are when it comes to ranking across certain niche areas and certain sectors, certain types of commodities that we deal in. India is ranked 1 in outsourcing destination for IT BPM. It has been ranked 1 in production of BT cotton, jute, and certainly traditionally has been ranked 1 in the production of spices. This here, I like to focus on this slide. This is one of the interesting slides to me. It kind of just showcases to how or what we generate every minute in India. And India creates nearly 5 million worth of GDP every minute and receives nearly 73,000 USD in every minute. From a digital perspective, as I mentioned, 750 million internet users. Certainly, they piggyback. The digital payment ecosystem piggybacks on that fact, and there are nearly 1.3 million digital transactions in India every minute, and we add nearly 5 million in market capitalization. Moving on, the startup ecosystem, as I mentioned, is one of the largest in the world. Indian startups raised nearly 42 billion in funding in 2021, which was one of the highest ever. And India was the second largest global VC investment hub for digital shopping companies. And the transaction in the digital space alone grew by nearly 175% in 2021 versus 2020, which kind of also showcases how the pandemic has increased the investment in this space and has also made room for a lot of D2C companies to emerge. India has a figure of, India is home to nearly 90 unicorns, and with a cumulative valuation of nearly 310 billion. And there are nearly 13 international bridges that India has set up in order to kind of facilitate knowledge sharing across startups with 13 countries, which are identified below. Moving on, certainly there are a lot of the strength of the Indian economy has been built through the promise shown by Indian industries, interest and faith of many foreign investors and companies, and most importantly, through streamlined interventions of various stakeholders in the policy ecosystem, including central and state governments. I'll not read through the entire set of measures, but notable ones are production-linked incentives, which are essentially an impetus given to the manufacturing space in India, with the PLIs being launched across 14 sectors, including pharmaceuticals. And the incentive outlays there are 27 billion and upwards. And the idea there is to incentivize manufacturing in India, and that obviously ties into increasing capacity and increased trade between countries. When it comes to corporate tax, India has seen a reduction in the corporate tax from 34% to 25%, and the figure is further reduced with certain caveats in place. We have also seen tremendous liberalization labor reforms, with 29 the central labor reforms being modified into, subsumed into 4 codes. There are also a lot of other structures, other reforms that have also come about, such as the insolvency and bankruptcy code, and a lot of mechanisms within the governments, including the project development cells and empowered group of secretaries. These are relevant for companies looking to invest in India and would hopefully can leverage these mechanisms to expedite any issues should they occur. This, again, I think that today's conversation has also been around human capital, and I'm very pleased to hear that Barrie has that capacity. From that perspective, I'd also kind of like to highlight one advantage that India has in AI and digital space is that nearly 900,000 it's graduates in science and engineering every year, which makes India as one of the largest hub to technical technical skill sets, and that's something that is leveraged by a lot of companies looking to set up their tech R&D spaces in India. GE Healthcare, Siemens, Philips, all of them have looked at India to set up their shop in terms of technical R&D spaces. This is just a brief snapshot of the Canada-India bilateral trade. India and Canada bilateral trade in terms of investments is certainly very dynamic, and India has seen tremendous investments which aren't necessarily captured by the FDI tracker, but are certainly out in the news for people to see. The Maple 8 have significant interest and stakes in India, and other companies such as McKay and Magna have also looked at investing in India. From a mechanism, G2G mechanism perspective, knowledge sharing mechanism, we have nearly 300 MOUs between India and Canada, and more than 600 Canadian companies have looked or have presence in India, and nearly 1,000 others are looking to invest in India. I'd also just like to finish my presentation with just a brief snapshot of a few of the sectors which might be of interest. Now, healthcare sector is nearly touching 372 billion by the end of this year. This has further subsets in terms of hospital industries, telemedicine, et cetera. Telemedicine is one of the major areas that has come up in the past 2 years owing to COVID, and has certainly normalized the space to a point where we can foresee telemedicine rising to 5.5 billion by 2029. From a larger healthcare perspective, India is certainly the largest supplier of low-cost medical facilities, generics, and has largest number of US FDA-approved facilities from a manufacturing perspective. These are the investable opportunities. Like I mentioned, hospital is one particular subset, followed by medical tourism and indigenous medicines. Now, medical tourism is certainly an area of interest because the lot of costs that are incurred for regular surgery are significantly reduced when leveraging facilities in India. Nearly 20% less. The cost is nearly lesser by 20% for major surgical treatments in India, and this space in itself is said to be valued at nearly 13 billion. Like I mentioned, the hospital facet of the entire healthcare system is nearly 130 billion in size and is the largest segment of the healthcare industry. We have also seen a significant surge in the indigenous channel, wherein Ayush, which is Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Shuddh, and segment which talks about the indigenous medicine facet of the medical system, has also seen a significant increase in interest and has also gained global recognition. The FDI policy in this particular sector has also over the years been liberalized, wherein companies looking to invest in India can invest under 100% automatic route for hospitals and medical devices. For pharmaceuticals and greenfield projects, it's again 100%, and it's 74% for brownfield investments in pharmaceuticals. Moving on, from a tourism perspective, India is certainly certainly entails an opportunity for tourists and travel, owing to the wide cultural and demographic mix, and that caters to a ready, available, investable opportunity for companies looking to invest in India and leverage the interest that the global space has in exploring tourism in India. A lot of Canadian companies have already invested in India and are all looking to invest in India. From an FDI perspective, there is significant amount of interest. The FDI caters to that significant amount of interest, with 100% investment allowed under automatic route and 100% investment allowed under tourism-related construction projects. Just a brief snapshot on where the investable opportunities lie. And here is as to where, when we look at in tourism holistically, we can further truncate into infrastructure opportunities for companies such as railway stations. Nearly 400 railway stations are to be redeveloped as per under the government plans. And from a food service perspective, that is in itself a $74 billion opportunity. From a logistic perspective, we also have airline routes and waterways that are being revamped. This is obviously kind courtesy of various government initiatives that have been taking place. This brings me to my last slide, and we do look to explore more opportunities in tourism, including notwithstanding medical tourism, which I spoke about earlier, but wellness, ecotourism, adventure, coastal. India has a big coastal presence and is also home to one of the is also home to a lot of wellness practices, and was the birthplace of yoga. Further, just want to end my conversation here, rather monologue, with what we do at Invest India, which is as a arm of the government, we support companies on a pro bono basis with market research, FDI regulations, analysis, segment information, and are more than happy to clarify any queries and concerns that you may have going forward with any investment opportunities in India. So thank you for this opportunity. Happy to take on any questions, and thanks again.
Thank you so very much, Rajat, for your great presentation highlighting the opportunities available in India. Post-pandemic, while we are struggling to overcome the recovery mode and the supply line is interrupted, I think India is the place to go where we can normalize our supply chain and bring our economic recovery faster. Thank you so very much for your help and support, and we encourage all our participant and audience here to get in touch with Invest India for further help and support. Thank you. And friends, now let me invite our next speaker. She's Christina Critelli. She has been the Director of International Representation at the Ontario Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade since 2019. She leads Ontario's network of trade and investment offices around the world that work to raise the commercial profile of the province internationally. She has over 11 years of public sector experience and has held several leadership positions in Ontario's economic development, energy, and infrastructure ministries. Thank you so very much, Christina, for joining, and over to you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you all today, and many thanks to the City of Barrie and the Canada-India Foundation for inviting me to speak today. Your commitment to fostering collaborative exchanges like this one is a benefit to the international work that we do. I lead the International Representation Branch of the Province of Ontario's Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. Our branch manages Ontario's international trade and investment offices, including our offices in Mumbai and New Delhi. Our offices in India support Indian companies looking to expand their operations in Ontario, as well as Canadian companies looking to do business in India. Both India and Ontario are leaders in innovation and share a rich history of trade and friendship. That's why I'm so glad to have the chance to be able to speak to you all today. I would like to take a moment to discuss what to me is at the heart of this event: Ontario and India's dynamic relationship. Pre-pandemic, there were over 65,000 Indian post-secondary students studying in Ontario's world-class universities and colleges each year. These students bring a wealth of knowledge and talent with them to Ontario post-secondary institutions and broader communities. We look forward to welcoming many more back now that the travel restrictions are easy. Home to nearly 1.4 billion citizens, India continues to be one of the world's fastest growing markets. With a robust educated population and flourishing economy, India is a priority market for Ontario and an important long-term partner in the technology sector. Our on-the-ground presence in India with trade and investment offices in Delhi and Mumbai is a great resource for both startups and established companies in India who are thinking about expanding their operations in North America. Expanding in Ontario allows Indian companies to access Canada's free trade agreements with about 50 countries globally, while being located only a short distance from major cities in the US. Ontario's international offices play an important role in supporting our province's global mandate. Our international staff have deep knowledge of local business culture, language skills, and relationship building. They work closely with Indian and Canadian companies to advance projects, make connections, and resolve issues. For example, the first in-person international business delegation that we hosted after the pandemic began was from India in November of 2021. And this exemplifies our prioritization of India-Ontario economic relationship. To those who are joining from India, allow me to tell you a little bit more about Ontario. Located in the heart of North America, Ontario offers companies access to more than 187 million consumers within a day's drive of southern Ontario cities like Barrie. The province also has one of the largest innovation and tech industries in North America, second only to the Bay Area in California. As of 2020, Ontario was home to about 24,000 tech firms and employs over 323,000 highly qualified advanced technology professionals. Ontario is also home to a talented pool of highly educated citizens. The province produces 55,000 STEM graduates annually, which makes the province among the top 5 STEM jurisdictions in North America. It's no wonder that large global companies and tech players such as Infosys, HCL, Wipro, TCS, and Cognizant from India are here thriving and growing due to a skilled workforce and integrated North American market opportunities. We have also lowered costs and cut red tape so that job creators have the best possible conditions to succeed. But we know that Ontario considers India to be more than just a trade and investment partner. We're good friends who have supported each other in times of need. India graciously sent COVID-19 vaccines to Canada earlier last year when our supply was short and uncertain. And during the Canada-India Business Council's Diwali Gala on November 3rd, Ontario was honored to receive the 2021 Roy McLaren Humanitarian Award for our efforts to donate critical medical equipment to Ontario during the third wave of COVID-19. There's so much we can feel proud about and so much to look forward to. By continuing to work together, Ontario and India can create an environment where entrepreneurs can thrive and inspire change at home and in the global community. Following this engagement today, I encourage any companies who want to learn more about doing business between Ontario and India to reach out directly to myself or to Digvijay Mehra, our Senior Economic Officer who leads Ontario's offices in India. Digvijay and his team are located in Mumbai and New Delhi and will be able to assist companies in real time on the ground. We will be sure to share the India's team contact information with the organizers of this event. Thank you again for having me.
Thanks, Christina, for sharing with us your vision and opportunities which Ontario presents for Indian entrepreneurs particularly. There is a great potential between India and many towns in Ontario outside of GTA, which offer great untapped opportunities. We are hoping this CIF initiative will help Ontario with balanced, spread out growth all over Ontario and ease many pressures within GTA. Thank you for all your work. Dear friends, our next speaker today, Stephanie Schlechter, is the City of Barrie's Director of Business and Creative Development. She is responsible for driving business innovation, collaboration, and excellence within Barrie, which was voted the 4th top Ontario city to invest, thanks to champions like Stephanie. Stephanie oversees a suite of programs and services designed to ignite economic growth and support local businesses. During her tenure, Barrie and the wider Simcoe region have become home to a series of leading industry hubs, including in the medtech, data, technology, automation, and precision manufacturing sectors. She believes that a strong economy is a homegrown affair And it begins with a combination of local community support and big picture thinking. Over to you, Stephanie.
Good morning, and thank you so very much for the opportunity to be here today and to speak. I'm just going to get my screen shared here, and we will go ahead and dive in. And thankfully, Mayor Lehman, as well as Dr. Westmoyne, have shared a lot this morning about the great things that we think make Barrie a great destination for doing business. I'm going to build on that a little bit this morning. And again, I thank you for your time. So as mentioned, we are about 45 minutes north of Toronto. As you can see, we are located on Kempenfelt Bay and within the greater Simcoe area. We have about 120 million customers within an 800-kilometer radius. And as Mayor Lehman spoke to earlier, the transportation corridors and accessibility really make Barrie a great destination for having the best of all worlds as it relates to being able to access our playground north of Toronto, as well as being close to the city. Our unemployment rate is about 6.6% as of January. And as you have so nicely mentioned, we were named the 4th top city to invest in Ontario through the Real Estate Investor Network. And we were named in 2020 the 5th most popular city to move to in 2020 from U-Haul International, who's of course a large moving company. We currently have a population of just under 150,000, and again, we're expected to go to 253,000 by 2041 and close to double by 2051. Some of the things mentioned about the key advantages of doing business here in Barrie is really the place to grow. And we are one of the fastest growing cities in Ontario, and we are expecting significant growth. And really, as Toronto grows as well, Barrie is really a destination that is close and a lower cost and competitive. From a distribution network, we have freight, we have airport services, so there's plenty of ways to get your goods moving around Ontario and globally. And as we've spoken about, leveraging the network and collaboration and being a landing space, Barrie's business community is very much community and supportive oriented. And so there are a wealth of support resources for you. So if you're looking to do business here, to connect in with the community and really have that supported place. And from a talent perspective, again, Dr. Westmoyne spoke about all the work that Georgian is doing. Lakehead University is also in our catchment area. So you have a continuous pipeline of talent and a very responsive partner in Georgian driving co-op programs and driving education that is very much matched with the needs of businesses. So from a long-term perspective, you've got a wealth of access to really have a robust workforce here in Barrie. Just some of the other key pieces, we do have access to GO Transit, which is our key hub that takes us from Barrie into Toronto. We have a robust transportation system that gets folks around within the city. We do have a short line rail that supports the shipment of commodities and industrial products through the city, and then connects in with CP for distribution across Canada and North America. Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre, incredible healthcare facility and a wellness hub and a growing key employer for this area, providing state-of-the-art cancer care. They do have an innovation and research corridor, and really a great asset to our city. The Lake Simcoe Regional Airport, again, we talked about, and Mayor Lehman alluded to some of that aerospace development. So there's approximately 180 acres there available for development, and really much meant to support commercial traffic, so the movement of goods. We've got customs on site, and again, that's just a few minutes north of the city. We are a port owner in our local electrical distribution, and that is Electra, and they are a leader in green energy, and they've done a wealth of technology pilot projects, again, driving some of that innovation portfolio we're seeing growing in the city. And from a data center perspective, again, Mayor Lehman alluded to the 2 major banking centers that are here, and supporting that are 2 national fiber optic lines that really connect us to Canada's primary interconnection hub in Toronto. From a non-retail perspective, our major industries include healthcare, social assistance. I referenced RBH. They are a key driver in that area, along with some really great manufacturers that I will speak to later. Accommodation, food services, and we've seen great growth in our professional and scientific, and our manufacturers truly are a backbone for us. We have approximately 200 businesses that export internationally, and we have a number of head offices that are located throughout the city. In terms of our key sectors, advanced manufacturing does remain strong. It has over 8,500 employees and more than 300 companies. And we spoke to aerospace, automation is significant, precision manufacturing, and of course, supporting the automotive. Honda of Canada is located within Simcoe County, so about 20 minutes south of us, and really drives some of that supply chain within the area. We have Napoleon, who is a significant employer and manufacturer of barbecue grills, fireplace, heating and cooling, and Innovative Automation, who are another local success story who have been growing and thriving in the automation sector, and spinning off new companies and new innovations, Robotape being one of their newest lines coming forward. So a really diverse mix, and very much have a global presence. We also spoke to the tech and data center, and again, we've spoke to the major data centers that are here. IBM also has a facility here with the world-class research and development center. We have seen, again, significant growth, 31% growth in our businesses in the ICT sector from 2015. So we really see that emerging. And we've got some really innovative companies, Ghost Retail, so their live co-shopping platform, and White Toque, who are a cyber defense and business resiliency, who are new and emerging, and again, have talent from across the globe supporting companies in these times. We did speak to our life sciences and med tech, and South Medic has been a long-term company. They manufacture a wealth of products, again, around the globe. We have clean rooms, and we're also seeing some emerging, of course, around the cannabis sector. We're also home to some national and international med innovators. So we've got the Life Center by Life Labs here, and St. Elizabeth Healthcare, again, supporting that frontline delivery of service, and really opportunities to drive and connect the med technology into our community. If you are a foodie in any way, shape, or form, Barrie does have a wealth of not only in the industry side, but as a frontline. We have a great number of restaurants due to our proximity to our agricultural surroundings, and we are also home to a small handful of breweries who are again distributed across Ontario. And some really innovative companies around Fresh Spoke. They are a platform and an organization looking at local food distribution. And we've seen a lot of emergence of food startups, which again, I think that collaborative startup space and support space has really helped drive that market. Mayor Lehman alluded to the support team, and I know Dr. Westmoyne spoke to Georgian. Georgian College and home to their Henry Bernick Entrepreneurship Center has been a great partner for us in terms of supporting our entrepreneurs and those looking to grow and scale in our community. They really look at connecting to funding, mentorship. And not only do they serve students, but they also serve our local business community in driving research and student-led projects. And further to that, we also have a really innovative program through the Sandbox. And this is one of Ontario's business-led innovation centers. So through our own community, who are leaders who are invested in the growth and success of businesses, came together to put together the Sandbox, which is really a model to bring existing business, new business, startup business, and be a safe landing space to connect with other peers for that peer-to-peer learning space, accessing several programs. We've got a trade accelerator program that goes through the Sandbox. And it really is for any companies that are looking to have a presence or explore a presence in Barrie. This is really the spot to go to be and to really be immersed in all of the supports that exist here in the city. And of course, a lifestyle here. So Barrie, as a high growth city, we've certainly seen values across land and homes peak. We still do remain under the market price of some of the greater Toronto area, so our affordability is still there. But I think what is also unique is when you talk about where you want to be is the access to public space. So there's 5 kilometers of public space around our beach and on our waterfront, beaches, trails, recreation. We really are in all seasons. So whether it's the beautiful sunshine and beach day, or whether it's a winter ski, there is a wealth of activity in and around the area that I think make that balance between work and play so critical. And for companies that are looking to recruit and keep talent, and again, Dr. Westmoyne spoke to labor and talent attraction being a challenge across the globe. What tends to happen in Barrie is that employees that come here tend to stay here. And so as an employer, being able to retain employees is critical. And Barrie really does provide that best of all worlds that I think drives some of that. Our downtown truly is alive with dining, cultural, year-round events. And again, we are safe, we are vibrant, we are active, we are growing. And we really work closely again with the college when we have students coming in to really orientate them, engage them in the activities of the city. We see all students and everyone that comes to the college for an education experience as future citizens for us. So we want to make sure that we are supporting and welcoming and working to cultivate that environment. We certainly do have a growing population of residents of Indian descent. We have several mother tongue languages that are spoken, and we have a very active Barrie Indian Association who do a wealth of things again to support cultural connectedness and ensuring that as a community we remain rich in our diversity and inclusivity. In closing, we would love to invite you to come and learn more, chat with us more. There are a wealth of, we are happy to introduce you to different companies based on your interest. If you are looking at bringing your business to Ontario, again, I think this is, we are a very unique spot in terms of your level of support being here and welcoming in that community piece, as well as that resource connection. We will support with site selection services. And of course, once your investment or you're thinking about coming here, we will help drive you through any permitting. And then of course, data analysis, if you're looking at some cost benchmarking, we really are a full service organization. My contact information is listed, so we would love to hear from you. We would love to share more with you, and I think we would love to invite you to our community to really see firsthand and meet some of the wonderful businesses, business owners that are here and operating. And with that, I think I'll close and leave that there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Stephanie, for giving an overview of the opportunities, various avenues available in City of Barrie. And to all our participants, please reach out to Stephanie for any further inquiry or questions. Talent pool, lifestyle, economic opportunities are the key I think, ingredients to make your decision for the future investment, which Barrie qualifies closer to GTA very much. So we're looking forward to ongoing engagement and participation. Friends, we talked earlier about the unicorns. Over close to 19 unicorns got produced or born in India for the last year and a half. And we have another very success story, a very inspiring person, Mr. Ravi Kumar, who is the co-founder of Upstokes and serves on its board of directors. Let me tell that the Upstokes is the second largest discount brokerage backed by Ratan Tata and Tiger Global. And Upstokes ventured into the retail brokerage in 2012 and currently valued over $3.5 billion and growing very rapidly. Mr. Ravi Kumar, who has a deep passion for Canada, and he has a deep roots here in Canada, a strong business acumen, a very great success story, and who's looking forward to expanding his operations here in Canada also. And we are very delighted to have you, Ravi, with us this morning. And we're looking forward to your presentation. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker, for the super warm welcome. I'm blushing already. But good morning to all esteemed panelists and all members of the Canadian and Indian government here today. Very special thank you to the Canada-India Foundation for inviting me to this wonderful discussion. I think discussions like these are very healthy and they open doors. And I think it's important that Canada and India really kind of connect, especially as India grows more and more. And I see a lot of businesses in India wanting to do business in Canada and vice versa. So it's just, I think this is an amazing enabler. But I'd love to share with you a little bit about our story. I'm actually a Canadian citizen. I grew up in Ottawa, Canada. I moved there in 3rd grade and I did high school there. And then I moved to the States for university. And then I've been in India now for the past 12 years. And in the past 12 years, I've seen it just grow from, it's grown tremendously. I'll put it that way, right? And Mr. Yadav earlier shared some of the statistics in terms of internet connectivity, mobile penetration, and all the great work the Indian government has done in the past 10, 15 years to really just enable wealth creation, and we're fintech. So we're India's largest brokerage in India right now. We have over 10 million customers. We're digital only business. So all of our customers are onboarded through their mobile phones, and equity participation in India is still very low, unlike the West. So we're at about 4.5-5% retail equity participation. And as India grows its economy more and more, the people of India also, of course, want to participate in that growth. And we're just there to kind of enable that and allow them to buy into the equity growth story. So it's been a fantastic story in India. We started, as I said, we started about 12 years ago. The retail side of the business started in 2012. This was before internet penetration doing its magic and the Indian government launching their Aadhaar biometric identity program, which is like the SIN number in Canada, but it allowed everyone in the country to become biometrically identifiable, and that enabled digital onboarding for digital-only businesses like us. So all of a sudden, you had access to like 1 billion+ customers to onboard with you fully digitally, and that really opened up, a lot of doors for us. So starting 2015, 16 onwards is when we started growing very, very rapidly. And now we're adding over almost 1 million customers a month, right? So that the growth penetration is very steep. And that's the India opportunity in a nutshell, which is you have this massive, a lot of people with growing economic prosperity, wanting to do more and more with their savings, their wealth. It's a very young country, a lot of young people wanting to do more and more. So as a as a digital-only business, online-only business, especially in the world of fintech, it's like the most amazing place to be, I would say. What's also happened in the past 4 or 5 years is as Indian companies, startups have started maturing and have started building up their potential, started hiring more and more people. I think the local talent has really grown, and it's very aspirational. So Indian companies like us and others, not just fintech companies, but across the entire startup ecosystem, want to now expand in other parts of the world, especially North America. And increasingly so, they look at Canada as an entry point to the North American market. And I think it's a wonderful place to start. And we ourselves, are in discussions right now to open up, a center in Canada, in Ontario. So we have over 1,000 employees in India right now, and some in Europe, and we want to open up a development center in Canada, where we'll build a local version of Upstocks that caters to the Canadian market. We see hundreds of potential senior employees being hired over the next 2-3 years, and we're looking to aggressively invest, in Canada as well. So, of course, Canada is a special place in my heart because I grew up there and I have a special affinity for the place. But this is not just with me. I think if you look at startup founders across the country, there's a very keen interest to grow abroad, and Canada becomes one of the first, I would say, one of the top 2, top 3 destinations of choice to get started. So it's a very exciting opportunity, I think, for both countries. And I would love to interact with all the members today and seeing if there's a way for us to work together and talk to other friends about all these opportunities as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions anybody else may have. Thank you so much for listening to my story today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Ravi. I mean, it's really exciting what you have been able to do. A lot of people we see who are living in Canada, and they are looking at opportunities in India. And, your story is such an inspiration and motivation for all Indo-Canadians to basically look at India from a different standpoint. What you have done is commendable. And we look forward to more participation from you on this corridor and see some great things happening. Friends, this brings us to end of this excellent discussion and session we've had today between India and City of Barrie. What a mesmerizing session, I would say. Now that we've had the benefit of listening to an impressive lineup of thought leaders, there is a reason to be optimistic about the latest CIF initiative. This program is unique in many ways. I'm not sure it has been attempted anywhere else in the world. Imagine bringing together a small town in Ontario with a population of just over 150,000 and the second most populous nation on earth with a population of 1.4 billion people. Obviously, in this case, size does not matter, but opportunity does. Our panelists today have given us a lot of enthusiasm, clearly outlining the possibilities in terms of trade and investment between the City of Barrie and India. We want to thank Mayor Jeff Lemon, who becomes the first leader of a city to be a part of this CIF initiative. And being present here and giving his blessings, he has set this project in motion. Thank you, Mayor Lemon. For this virtual event, we have been fortunate to have participation from both India and Canada. To begin with, we have Mrs. Apurva Srivastav ji, India's Consul General in Toronto, and tireless advocate of closer Canada-India ties, giving her unqualified support to this initiative. Thank you, Apurva ji. We've also heard from two influential voices from India in Ravi Kumar and Rajat Yadav, who are also on board with this idea. The Ontario side is equally enthusiastic, as represented by Dr. Marilyn West-Moynes, Stephanie Schlester, and Christina Critelli. Thank you all for joining us and sharing your thoughts. The COVID restrictions are getting lifted, and we hope to see you all in person soon. And we look forward to many more interactions with many more great cities in Ontario like today. Thank you. Have a wonderful day and namaste.
Thank you, Ritesh. And before we conclude, to all our participants, we have seen some questions. As we are constrained with the time, we are finishing our event at 10:30, but we have noted down your question and will be routing your questions to the concerned person, and they will be in touch with you to directly interact with you on that front. And once again, thank you so very much. Let's all keep connected and working together. All the opportunity which we discussed today, and in future, let's all connect it together. Wishing you all a very, very happy Friday also, and the upcoming weekend. And thank you all for joining.